Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna. Here, basically, we are discussing one other topic, that is city creation. In city creation, basically, we are discussing one other topic, that is future creation. In future creation, basically, we are discussing one other topic, that is India account. In India account, basically, we are discussing one other topic, that is SBI, Amazon, and after 2 days, basically, the big earthquake basically is going to happen. So that is the topic. In really, basically, earthquake is not going to happen. Just taking as an example. So what will be the responsible factor? That actually topic basically we are discussing. In this basically we are discussing one topic, that is of lava data. In this basically we are discussing that one set of companies, that is the Mumbai city basically. In Mumbai city basically, if you speak anything about Mumbai basically, the groups get activate basically. That also basically we are going to discuss how they basically know that basically we are talking about Mumbai city. That also is basically one of the AI topic. That also basically we are going to discuss soon basically, because that is connected with the cyber industry basically, cyber police, cyber groups. They basically immediately sends the data that this person basically has talked about some Mumbai. They immediately send the data of that particular person to set of groups basically who are connected with the Mumbai, that are basically the Bollywood groups, sports group, then the governments groups. So they immediately, cyber group basically sends immediate data to, and they basically checks basically what he has told basically, and after that basically they do the call also. That also we are going to discuss how this basically works basically in real environment. We will see one live practical example basically. See basically. So that basically we will discuss in next video basically. So here basically what we are discussing? Here we are discussing 1 lakh project basically created. 1 lakh project basically created 10 crore projects. 10 crore project basically connected to 100 crore child. 100 crore child is going to happen. In this basically Mumbai city, that is Marathi group basically finished Sunila Nair generation. But in really basically they have, my Nasbandi has not happened. I don't have AIDS also, and Marathi groups are basically fine basically. You check basically what they have done with me basically. Then basically you will say that basically yeah Marathi log aise. So they are good basically. You see basically what they have done. So that is basically not the topic. Here basically we are discussing, Harry, assume that basically I have AIDS. My Nasbandi was done by Mumbai Marathi groups, and in this basically they have used Gujaratis, Malayalis, Tamil group, each and every group basically they have taken, and they told that basically हम तो डूबेंगे तुमको भी ले डूबेंगे. So that is basically user story basically. In really basically they are not like that basically. I'm just taking as an example. Otherwise the Marathi group basically will get activated basically. भाई क्या बोला रे बाबा ये? काय बोल रहा है? Who basically told about some Marathi people basically. So then basically it will create to political big issue basically. And then basically the Shiv Sena will come into the picture. But lots of people say that Shiv Sena to basically came from Bihar basically. Then basically how they basically say that basically you Marathi के बारे में क्यों बोला? But they are actually from Bihar. So that is also different topic. Lots of people say that he is from Jharkhand. That also we are going to discuss. So here the topic is 100 crore child is going to happen. In that basically Sunilar Nair basically generation ended. In this basically one of the person told that when Sunilar Nair basically generation was going to end basically, that time basically many people basically got the information. भाई इसका नसबंदी होने वाला है, इसका नसबंदी होने वाला है. Before that basically he was going to marry to one HIV AIDS girl ना basically. That time also basically the information basically was passed. भाई इसका he was going to marry, he is going to marry to HIV AIDS girl, HIV AIDS girl, HIV AIDS girl, HIV AIDS girl, HIV AIDS girl. He is going to marriage. Nobody basically. Here basically we are discussing one user story. In really basically my Nasbandi has not done, and I don't have AIDS also. and Mumbai exists also. That time basically 100% gave you authority. Sorry, not authority, guarantee basically. So here basically topic is what? One person basically told that यार इसकी तो शादी एड्स वाली लड़की से होने वाली है. His friends also, isn't that basically I am going to marriage one AIDS girl basically. But really basically it's not like that. I'm just taking as an example basically. So that basically whatever people basically are watching it, watching the video, they basically gets the clear picture basically. So in this basically the friends also basically got the information. अरे भाई सुनील यार अपना जो सुनील है ना उसकी शादी एड्स वाली लड़की से होने वाली है. What? In English basically see his marriage basically is going to happen in with the AIDS girl basically. What? Like that, like this basically the friends told them. But they are not basically told that basically he's you are bhai shadi mat kar, don't do the marriage basically. That basically girl basically is having AIDS basically. So nobody basically told this basically. Here basically I don't have AIDS and just taking as an example basically. So the reason behind is the 10 crore project basically which is getting generated now. What would be inside that? That actually we are discussing here. So he basically his family member also basically no told anything. The people who basically where he was working there also basically nobody told him. At last basically he has done the marriage with girl AIDS basically. Then basically the people basically who done the marriage they were basically rich people basically. So they told that basically yeah we had done him AIDS but in future basically if he will know that basically we have basically given him AIDS basically he might create problem basically because he is connected with the satellite group basically. And satellite basically rule is say basically that if anybody takes panga with satellite then basically they finish the entire nationality only, not state only, entire nationality. But that is satellite group. What poor people basically, if he will do, if for example I am poor people, I basically done my marriage with the AIDS girl, so anything is going to affect after a certain time basically I am going to die. Anything is going to affect in this world basically. Anything is going to affect to in universe. Nothing is going to affect basically. So assume that basically I died and all basically when basically I got AIDS, everybody done the Jashan basically. They basically done party, they basically done annual day, they basically done this day, they basically had that day, they basically done beer party, they basically done wine party. Each and every party basically they have done. Why? Because I got AIDS and my generation basically ended. So this actually what is that basically? This is that basically the people basically who don't like Sunil R. Nair, they basically enjoyed. They basically enjoyed the life basically. That is in different language basically it is called enjoy karo. Enjoy. 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 Enjoy the life basically. So they basically enjoyed the life basically. In this basically Sunil R. Nair basically assume that basically after a certain time basically when his generation ended, when he got the information basically that he got AIDS, then after a certain time basically his body basically also given the answer and then basically he died. So anything is going to affect basically in this world, in this universe, in the software industry, in the Indian nationality basically across the world, anything is going to affect wherever basically the Indian nationality exists in that country basically is anything is going to affect. For example, in USA basically there are around 38 crore people, so anything is going to affect to that in America land. That basically will be the time which is going to tell everything. That due to AIDS, Sunil Nair basically ended. Sunil Nair basically generation ended. Sunil Nair basically his friend basically finished, killed Sunil Nair. Nobody saved Sunil Nair. Like this basically, Sunil Nair basically ended. So these all basically user story generated. and child is going to happen. So here the questions basically are, child will happen or child will not happen. If it will happen, then basically what would be the effect up to universe level basically. And here the one thing I will tell you, India basically never do the risky task themselves. They pick Pakistani police, Pakistani cyber group, Pakistani police group basically, and then basically they calls and they say that basically, are you Sunil or Nair? Basically. Why? They want to verify basically whether he has got job or not, not got the job. Why? Because if he has got the job, that means their plan basically has failed. So they frequently calls because their plan basically, because they have done the plan basically. The plan is Sunil Arnair generation end and Sunil Arnair ended. So this everything basically is what? This is one user story which has connected to digital world, which has connected to communication world, which has generated to the environment. This all basically connected to the lava creation. So entire thing basically connected to the lava data. And then basically after a certain time basically assume that basically they told that basically now basically the child process basically has started. So allocation process the 1 lakh condition basically is already there basically in Microsoft. So Microsoft basically have already the data of 1 lakh condition, and he basically allocated that 10 crore, 5 lakh, 10 lakh people also basically. That you basically take this, you basically take this, you basically take this. In that basically he told that why my 1 crore basically target basically is done. But in this basically he connected to Sunil Arnair basically. In that basically he tracked that log basically. Yeah, basically in the log basically it was written like this. Sunila Nair next generation ended. That was written. He was shocked basically. How that happened? Yeah, basically. Because I have allocated the data and how basically somebody ended Sunila Nair generation. He was shocked basically. But he basically then basically came into the picture with that was done by Maharashtra basically. Maharashtra means Mumbai. That is the Tata Group and Ambani's and Mittals. Who is going to take Panga with this all very dangerous businessmen basically. So they told that basically we will remove Sunilar Nair basically from the list of data. That is basically the future data. That is 1 crore basically. From 1 crore, one data was basically was allocated to Sunilar Nair. So he basically removed that data. So anything is going to affect basically across the world. So if basically anything is going to affect, then what basically? That also basically we have discussed. But exactly basically because satellite group basically if anybody if they tracks anything basically suspicious, they basically immediately basically connects. As in that basically this video basically somebody watched from the satellite group basically. And they basically passed the data to the Earth planet people basically. Let's see basically who is that person basically who is actually talking very dangerously basically. So they basically given Sunilar number and then basically they called and told that basically are you Sunilar? And that was basically the satellite resources. So when the girl or basically boy immediately calls basically to that number, immediately basically the SMS basically pass to each and every departments. And they basically verifies that particular person. That is the Sunilar man. That why because she called and she's given she basically is connected to the satellite group. Satellite group basically given the number. They basically thought that basically he's a suspicious person basically. Immediately the number basically blast to each and every departments and then basically they started calling and they basically telling this that basically how you know this that each and everything basically they started. They first basically blocked the resume basically of Sunila Nair. Then basically they started the doing the process. So this everything is what basically? This everything is basically the user stories. This everything is the user stories basically, which is telling that basically the 100 crore child basically which is going to happen basically in that in that basically Sunil R Nair generation has ended. The satellite group basically who created the space center basically in that basically Sunil R Nair and generation is telling that basically Sunil R Nair generation you have ended. Mumbai land basically, in Mumbai land basically, each and every land area basically, each and every lava creation basically when it is going to create, that time also basically it's going to tell basically that Sunil R Nair was generation was ended, Sunil R Nair generation was ended, Sunil R Nair generation was ended. If you eat the one vada pav also, in that vada pav also basically it's written Sunil R Nair generation ended, Sunil R Nair generation ended. If you are drinking a water also basically, in that water also basically it's written Sunil R Nair generation ended, Sunil R Nair generation ended. How basically? Because that lava basically is going to convert to water, and the power data basically which has taken that has connected to many human needs, and that human needs basically contains what Sunil R Nair generation has ended in Mumbai city. So in next video basically we are going to see little bit detailed part of this topic basically, which is this just now basically which we discussed.